There we go. All right. Sorry, had myself on mute because from the last sentence. Okay, perfect. You guys can hear me now. Good. Where does that come from? Twitch. Perfect. All right. Yeah. So we're gonna start. So I was saying hi, Miss Daisy. How are you doing? Good to see you. Welcome back. I've seen you before, I think. Yeah, we're gonna be talking about the hidden cost of vibe coding an app. I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. I'm doing fantastic. Oh, actually, hey, I got some promotion to do. Are you going to come to my LinkedIn launch event? Matter of fact, I'm asking everybody to come to my LinkedIn launch event. I'm launching my new up. Hey man, how are you doing? Tappy? Good to see you. While I have you guys and I have your attention, I'm dropping this in the chat. If you guys can RSVP to my LinkedIn event, my launch event, next Wednesday, 2 p.m. Even if you can't make it, RSVP and watch the recording at a later date. But yeah, we're gonna be launching. Which is pretty exciting because it's exciting and also intimidating because there's so much work to be done for this event, and I'm not gonna lie, I've taken on quite an ambitious agenda, and it's been a whirlwind. Shoot, I just realized I didn't bring my phone's about to die and I didn't bring my cable. That's okay. So, welcome. You guys, I'm gonna let you guys kind of roll in for a bit. We're starting a little bit late as usual because I had just a ton of stuff to get done today, and the reality is that there's just not enough time in the day. That's just a fact. There's just not enough time in the day. I'm sure you guys could all relate to that. So, yeah, as a result, we're just being behind schedule with our launching. But I have some good news. I think I'll be able to get you do the setup a little bit faster on my vibe coding thing. Finally, I finally got my Claude Code running. Claude Code, OpenClaw running. And man, listen, if you guys haven't used OpenClaw, okay? OpenClaw is a game changer. And if you don't know what OpenClaw is, you kind of need to know what OpenClaw is. Because people keep talking about their aha moment with OpenClaw, and I installed it before, but I wasn't really impressed. I was like, I mean, it's okay. It does some cool things, but I wasn't impressed with it. But I had my aha moment probably this morning. Is it free? Yes, it is free. OpenClaw is free. It's not free in terms of time. I'll tell you that. It's a lot of work to do. But if you can get it going, man, game changer. Okay, so let me just tell you, you know what? Let me just pull up my list. I can't put some of this stuff on screen because there's a lot of private information in it. But I can share with you guys what I use OpenClaw for, because it's just going to blow your mind. And it's giving me new superpowers. I'm afraid that it might make me into a bad human being. I'll tell you what I mean by that in a sec. So yes, it is free. Just to give you an idea. So OpenClaw is 100% open source. Okay. If you don't know much about it, I'll tell you about it quickly. OpenClaw. So it's called OpenClaw.ai. And what it is basically, think of it like a personal assistant for your life. And I'll explain all of that in a sec. But man, I definitely had my aha moment yesterday, and I was like, this is not just cool, but I want to talk about why it's important and why it's relevant to the conversation that we're going to be having about running your business on an OpenClaw. Aren't you the Tableau guy on YouTube? The Tableau guy. I'm not the Tableau guy. What are you talking about? I mean, I know Tableau, but I'm not the Tableau guy. Sorry, wrong black person. That's too funny. um, I am on YouTube, by the way. I am on YouTube. That's too funny. The Tableau guy on YouTube. Oh, I didn't mean it like no. You know you're good, man. Don't worry. There's no harm. There's no offense. Okay, don't worry. I'm just pulling. I'm just busting your balls. No, you're good. Good. I don't know if I can say balls on the internet, but I'm sure I can. But no, you're good. Don't worry. There's no offense here. Don't worry. You're good. I don't know you, so I'm not offended by your thing, and I wasn't trying to be insulting or even suggesting that I was insulted by your commentary. It was just a joke. Don't worry. You're good. I thought you were branching out or something. No. Do you have any credentials as SWE, or are you just vibe coder? Oh, you mean as a software developer? I think that's what you're asking. So I've been around for about 20 years. So maybe that's something. I don't know. Is that something? Built the free projects. This is my third company. Maybe that's something. I don't know. Like, you'll have to tell me what something is to you. But to answer your question, yes, I've been a software developer, and now I'm a vibe coder. I'm not a software developer anymore. I'm a vibe coder first. Okay, for the true software developer people out there, they'll probably be offended by my statement, but software development has changed, and anybody that's writing code by hand today will be irrelevant in the next year or two. I'm sorry to say it, but it is actually 100% fact. And what am I building? I'm building everything. I'll tell you in a sec. But my application is approaching north of 1.5 million lines of code. And I pretty much control that entire thing by myself, almost. I mean, I do have some developers that do other stuff, but that like the core of the code, the core of like the code base that I manage is around that. So I'd say I know a thing or two. I'm a software developer as well and a founder. Oh, entrepreneur in the house. My type of people, man. My type of people. Welcome. We're going to be talking about a lot of stuff today. So, I wanted to go back to the open Claude thing because I want to share my aha moment, and then we're going to get into what we're talking about today, which is the hidden cost of vibe coding an app. As a software developer, Mr. Ebanstein, I think you'll know what I'm talking about. But yeah, we're going to talk about that. So, but I want to do the open Claude thing because I was just excited about it, and I want to share with you guys what's been happening in my world. So for open Claude image is what I wanted to do. Growth. So if you look at open Claude, the growth at which is thing, this is why it's so important, okay? Because it needs context. Like there's tons of open source application, and then there's context. And so if you look at this graph, let me see if I can get it a little bit bigger. Yeah, if you look at this graph here, open Claude is this red line here on GitHub. And basically in 2 months, this thing went from like nothing to just skyrocketing and just beat every other application on the market. It's kind of insane how fast it's grown. But to put more perspective, this is not a good enough graph to show you how relevant this thing is. This is the guy that built it, by the way. He's now like a superhero of mine because up until I'm almost willing to say, I'm putting myself on a limb here and say, up until this guy, software developers were kind of looked at as like just, a bunch of geeks in a room. This guy made software developing really cool by doing probably one of the most ambitious projects that I've seen, which is open Claude. But to put some perspective, this is what I wanted to show you. So, right, like look at this. Open Claude came from, oh, it's hard to, no, of course, no. I want to see the comparison to, I want to see the one that's compared. Let me see if I could find it quickly. If not, we're going to move on. But I want to see the one, there's one that shows a comparison of Linux and GitHub, Red Hat. Sorry, is it not not Reddit? Oh man, where is it? There's so many of these graphs now I can't even find the one. I should just save it and just put it on my and just post about it. But anyway, the point is this. It took something like Linux like 20 years or something to get to the level that it is, and it took React Native or React roughly around the same time frame, and OpenClaw came in 2 months and just surpassed both of these tools. It's just unbelievable how fast it's grown, and at the scale at which people have adopted it. So, but that's the point. Anyway, why do I want to talk about it? I'm not talking. I'm not teaching OpenClaw today. Just to be clear, I'm just hyped up about it, and that's what I'm sharing. So I finally got OpenClaw. Let me see if I can pull it up. I got OpenClaw to work in my environment. Most people have been using OpenClaw and they kind of, connect it to their WhatsApp or their Telegram or Discord and all this. I don't use any of those things, or I barely use them. My tool of choice for my organization and for my employees is it's Microsoft Teams. And say what you want about Office and yada yada. It's just the tool that I use. Okay. And frankly, it's now the most popular. We could debate as to why, but it's the most popular. So anyway, I got OpenClaw to work finally in Microsoft Teams, and let me tell you, that was an ambitious undertaking because if you know anything about Microsoft and the way how they set things up, it's just complicated, and security is just designed for enterprise, and it took me a really long time to kind of figure it out, but I finally got it working in Teams. And I was very, very happy about that. So I can't show you guys the actual thing. Let me see if I could. Let me get it to just give me some generic information first, and then I'll share my screen. Even though you won't be able to see it, I'll be able to just kind of talk through. So I'm just gonna say, hey, can you give me an overview of? Let me see. Yeah, okay, that's working. Just want to make sure. Hey, can you give me an overview of what you've done for me in the last hour or two? I want to basically show my live audience how amazing you are as a worker for me, and give me sort of very big point with lots of space so that my audience can see what work you've done for me in the, let's call it, in the last 24 hours. Don't put any personal information. Don't put any email addresses, any of that kind of stuff. Just show me what you've done for me. Okay. So I'm gonna let it kind of send me a report of exactly what it's done, and then I'll show you. But just to give you some context, all right, I'm doing a launch event next week. By the way, I would like for all you guys to show up to my launch event. So if you haven't or heard of me or whatever, come to my launch event. You'll learn a lot more about who I am and what I'm doing and what I'm building in more details. But let me do this for you as a member. So come to my launch event. I'm going to drop the link in the chat for both crowd. And yeah, come to my launch event, RSVP to this here, and then I'm going to show you what OpenClaw is doing, and then we're going to start the actual live today. But the point is this thing has been working nonstop 24 hours. So I gave it an ambitious goal. I said, listen, I want you to find me 500 people that could come to my event. Go find them. And it's been aggressively just going and working towards that. It sent out a bunch of emails on my behalf today. It just worked through just a ton of stuff that I would have otherwise had to have an assistant do. And it's literally just using my computer. It has its own dedicated computer over at the back there. It has an M1 Mac computer, and that is using one of my older computers. And I wiped the computer clean, and I just gave it a browser, give it sort of access to some local files. And I just told it, I said, your job is to be a marketer. Your job is to get me exposure. I'm launching my app. I need you to list my app in every single online directory that you could possibly find that's free. And the ones that are not free, I want you to give me a list of all of the places that that my application needs to be listed and what's the cost. And then come back and give me a report. And every hour, I want you to report to me exactly what you've done for me. Okay. And so as a result, this is what it's done so far. So now I could share this because this is my actual Teams here. Okay. So let me see. This is a report that I just asked you to do just 2 seconds ago. So here. So it says, Here's a clean, audience safe overview. You can show live, no personal emails, personal included, etc. So what has it done? It's done public event distribution. So I created a public event on Eventbrite, listing lead score AI is now live as another public discovery with RSVP. So lead score AI launch event, the position, free tickets, launch LinkedIn event description. Okay, it also created a product launch platform framework. So all of the details for product hunt. So basically we're going to launch on product hunt. So it created, and I didn't even give it, what's crazy, I didn't even give it any of the images or anything that I use. It just went to my website, took some, pulled some images from the website, and basically put that up and uploaded into product hunt. No problem. Now I still got to go in there and clean it up a little bit. But my point is, it just created the account and did the whole thing for me. It did some directory submissions. It did AI directory submission, launch next submission. These are all directories. I don't even know some of them. Neil Patel style, next tool AI drove, Captera. So it just listed lead score. This is my application on all of these platforms. What else did it do? Event platform research. So Luma AI calendar event. Like it's just working. So launch event position, launch tracking. So that's just to give you an idea of what I was doing. And then while I was upstairs, like literally just about 15 minutes ago, I remembered, I was like, oh, I forgot to email 2 people that I had in mind to send them links to the event. So I just opened up Teams. I was like, hey, can you open up my email and create a draft for me of these 2 people and get them to just write an email for them. Go back and see the last 2 emails for these people. Take the context from that and then write an email inviting them to my launch event. And it just did it. It just left the draft there so I could just reply, send it out. So in the last 24 hours, I have gotten new superpowers by truly using OpenClaw and, for just doing a lot of the mundane task. So yeah, anyway, just wanted to share that with you guys because it's like, this is one of the things that it's relevant to running a business, but I wanted to kind of share that up front because it's one of those things that it's like, once you get it, you get it. But if you don't get it, it's just like, why would I use this thing? What's the purpose of it? Like, what's the benefit of it, etc. I'm planning on doing this later today. Hey, good for you, man. Good for you. Like once you get it set up. So it took me, because I set this up before, but I actually set it up on a live maybe like about 2 or 3 months ago. But it was a live and I didn't really go back to it in detail. But yesterday, knowing that I have this launch event that's sitting on my brain, and I was like, I gave myself 2 weeks to do a launch event because I know my attention span is going to drift after that. And I sat down yesterday, got up at 2 a.m. and just started working through it. And by 6 or 7 a.m., it was doing all the things that I wanted it to do. The thing is that I wanted to take it a step further and I wanted to get it into Microsoft Teams. That took me roughly another day to get done because Microsoft Teams is complicated. You have to set up a bot and then you have to put it in. It's just a lot of stuff that you have to do with Microsoft Teams. So getting it in that environment was just a lot more tricky. I wrote a kind of a mini blog post about it. I might publish it. But it was a lot of work to get it done. But once I got it and I started communicating with it in Teams, in Microsoft Teams, that was an aha moment for me because everybody else, they were like, oh, I was using it in Discord and WhatsApp. I was like, I don't want to use it in any of those platforms. Like my business, it runs on Microsoft Teams. So it has to be in Teams. And yeah, so anyway, I'm raving about it because it's amazing. Almost every communication channel needs a bot to send message. Yeah, so I didn't really know about that, and so it took me a while to kind of figure that out. You need to create a bot credentials key to publish the message to those. Yes. Yeah, so maybe I should have been talking to you and and I would at least know how to get this thing set up. But I'm not familiar with bots. Bots was not a thing in my world, so it was just new to me, and I need to get it done. So yeah, but good on you for at least knowing how to get it done. That's why we learn. It's beautiful, and you're always learning. 100%, man. Always growing. Yes, 100%. So yeah. So okay. So what are we talking about today? We're gonna be talking about sort of the chat. Oh, you know what? I keep doing this every single week. I just need to promote my school community because this is what this environment is. So by the way, again, I'm just putting this out there again, dropping it in the chat because this is what you have to do as a marketer. You guys add me on LinkedIn and RSVP to my event that I'm doing, a launch event for my product. Would be good to see some of you guys out there. And if you haven't already, join my school community. I'm going to drop a link in the chat for that one as well too. But I have to go message my school community. Then we're going to talk about the hidden challenges of building a vibe coded business. That's what we're going to be talking about today. So join the school community, putting it inside of there so at least you guys could join if you haven't already. And I want to post that I'm live because I haven't been doing that. I was supposed to post I'm live. Come join me. Hey guys, I'm live. Just come and join the event. We're talking about the hidden challenges of vibe coding. And then what's the other thing I have to do? Where's my link to my, there we go. Copy this one. Click on this link, paste it, add. There we go. Perfect. Post to all my members. Click on weekly. 174. Look at that. We're 174 members strong in the community. And we're slowly growing. Oh, one more thing I want to promote. So I've been documenting my entire life in a classroom. Sorry, rephrase that. I've been documenting my entire launch event. So every single decision that I've made so far about my launch event, how I'm putting it together, what I'm doing, what the plan, what the challenges are, the whole 9 yards. If you guys want to see how to launch an actual event, come to the Vibe Coded School community, and then you could come in here again, all for free. And see here, this is like raw content. This is me in my robe, just sharing information and documenting the entire process. So come join and follow along. I'm talking about my anxiety, some of the challenges that I've had, it's like I'm really going deep on the background because I think most people, they see the polished version of entrepreneurs and the people with all of the success, etc. You know what? Let me just hang it. Just give me 1 second, guys. I won't normally do this, but I want to answer this call. Give me 1 second here. Hey, Junior, how are you doing? Good. I'm okay. I'm just on a live right now, but let me call you back in about 2 hours or so, and I'll call you back. No problem. Okay, bye. Sorry, I just wanted to deal with that. So your robe, yeah, you say yes. I know it's. Listen, man, I'm in Canada. It's still cold up here. Okay, so yeah, I'm in my robe, doing robe things. Okay, and yeah, that's it. What the reason why I'm specifically saying that is because I want you guys to understand how raw these videos are. I really wanted to kind of put together a set of videos that really talk, like just from the entrepreneur's perspective, all of the problems, issues, challenges, every single thing I'm thinking about. It's just raw. They're like 10 minutes videos, but it's super important because as entrepreneurs, the problem that we run into is that nobody shares the real grind that happens in the background, right? We like what we want to see is like the LinkedIn polish. Oh, hey guys, look at me, I'm successful, I've done this, and I've sold $1 million worth of products or whatever it is that you do, right? But it's like the back end, the thing that actually got you there, nobody really spends the time on. And that's what this is for me. So come join the community and do follow along because I think this is important. And you know what? One day when I become rich and famous, I'm not trying to get rich or famous, by the way. Well, famous, maybe rich, but not famous. One day when that happens, this documentary will be super important because it'll literally show you the raw version of me and the thing. I was watching a video by Alex Ramosi, and one of the things that he said was that he wished he'd gone back and document some of those struggles that he had more. And I was like, hey, I'm doing that. So, building a product is really hard. and all of the things that has to do go into it to get it off the ground, super hard. So yeah, go knock yourself out. Love the community. Hey, Paul, work from home dad. Thank you for the support. Thanks, by the way, for doing the RSVP. I appreciate that. And like I said, guys, there's more stuff coming. It's just that I'm focused on this launch event right now. So this launch event is taking up my brain. But once I get over it, I guarantee you there's a lot more stuff, more structured content coming, like that really is going to guide you through the process of doing things properly, right? At scale, because that's what we're about here. So I'm just asking because I'm about to graduate and I use AI. Hey, congratulations. What do you graduating from? Is it wrong to use AI when coding? Okay, sorry, I didn't realize the question. It's not wrong to use AI when coding, okay? But there is a caveat for somebody like you that's like starting out. You kind of want to just do the hard thing, which is write the code yourself. And I know this is going to sound controversial, but just hear me out for a second. So one of the ways that you learn as a human being is just by doing. Everybody understands this, that has learned something in their life, right? Like you don't learn to ride a bike by watching somebody else ride a bike. You learn to ride a bike by riding a bike. Okay. That means it comes with all the faults. It comes with like slowly learning how to like stay up. It comes with like, feeling like you're just unstable. Every single thing that is hard about riding a bike, the only way you get good at it is to do it. So you can't become a good programmer unless you do programming. That's it, right? It's just that simple. The challenge is that you have access to all this AI tools, so it feels like you're making progress because you're going significantly faster because of the AI. What you really want to do is you want to slow it down and you want to get back to basics, because this is how your brain is going to kind of learn the pieces that's missing. And so it means that you have to do the hard thing, which is to literally sit there and try to write something. The good news is that if you're stuck, you could ask the AI to help you to figure out how to get unstuck, but not necessarily to write the code. Does that make sense? Right? Like it's like having a peer programmer sitting beside you saying. So that's what I was supposed to. That's what I would suggest that you do. And for me, just to give you a raw example, I was started this call by telling you guys that I installed OpenClaw and I was learning how to do it. Well, OpenClaw is not straightforward for like a regular person. You kind of have to be a developer slash technical person to understand how to get this thing working. And I could have easily gotten AI to set it up, like saying, hey, Claude Code, can you install OpenClaw and get it to just write all the code? But instead, I wanted to learn the inner workings of it. So what I did, I went to the website, I copied the code, I went to the documentation, I just line by line copied, pieces of code and understood why I had to install it the way that I did. And then I tried to set it up in Microsoft Teams, etc. I manually copied the code. When I run into a problem, which I did many times, I would copy the error message, go to ChatGPT, type the error message in and tell it what I think the problem was and get it to correct me or not. And that's how I was able to figure out how to do this properly. And then once I understood what was really happening, then I just told Claude Codex, I was like, can you just fix this for me? I don't care anymore. Right? Like, so that's the balance that you have to strike, and that's what I want you to do. All right. So hopefully that makes sense, Mr. Flying High 69. So okay, let's go talk about some stuff that is related to Claude Code. That's sorry, GEMM. I'm just pulling up my slides here. Gemma app. Boop, boop, boop. So let's do, you know what I want to do? Let's resize the screen as well too. So bear with me for a second here. Someday I'll be 100% prepared before I come on live. Until that very day comes, it's just going to be a little messy. So let's go with, hang on one second. I just want to change my screen size here and I'm going crazy. That's so weird. Okay, there we go. No, appearance, display, there we go. Come on. Try to make it a little bit bigger for you guys. So this one here, there we go. Just a little bit bigger. Okay, good. And let's get my app installed. So, right. So we're talking about the topic is the hidden costs of vibe coding an application. And for the programmers in the house and the people that have been around in this industry for a while, like we understand this stuff. We understand what are some of the challenges of doing a vibe coded app. And then you have this situation where people build an app and then they vibe code it and then it's not working and then they come to you to try and get it fixed, right? So, but today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about sort of the back end operational side of things. And this actually applies to a broader audience, which is more like my business people that are trying to manage their company, because there's support emails that you got to deal with. There's if you're doing vibe coding in this case, there's bugs that you got to deal with. If you're running any business, there's just operations. There's things that you have to do from an operational standpoint. And the real question is like, how do you put all these pieces together? What do you do to kind of make things go well, right? So we're gonna come back to this here. So there's just a lot, and this is actually the reason why I've been excited. I was excited about OpenClaw, because OpenClaw in this particular instance is helping me to address every one of these problems. So we're gonna dive into each one of these. We're gonna talk about support. We're gonna talk about DevOps. We're gonna talk about sales. We're gonna talk about sort of the development workflow, marketing. Sorry, I meant business ops and development workflow, marketing and cloud, because it's just super important, right? Like most people, they don't really think about they don't think about the details. Okay. So let's just do this first. Let's do the support thing first. So I'll tell you what's going on in my world right this minute. So one of the biggest things that I've unlocked is building into my vibe coded app, or my apps in general. Just it's a support, a way for people to send messages of problems that they're having seamlessly. So let me pull that up so I could tell you it. So take, for instance, my construction app that focuses on contractors and project managers and property managers, etc., that kind of deal. Okay, like just having a simple thing as a bug report in the app so that you could quickly and easily send bugs is just a really convenient thing to have. And I could say something like, this application is not working well, we got a problem with it, the interface is broken, right? Send. That's it. Okay, just super easy for your users to be able to just communicate, send sort of like reports of problems or issues, or even, hey, I like this feature, it's working. Like that sort of thing matters, and we kind of take it for granted. But giving your customers the ease of use to be able to report problems makes your app a better app, because the SaaS trend has always been online. Hide your phone number, don't have a phone number, let them go to the community and ask their questions. And obviously, there's sort of a trade-off, because when you get to a certain scale, it's really hard to support somebody that's paying you $20 a month or $30 a month or whatever it is. So this is why most companies that are in the SaaS business, they kind of move upstream and go to enterprise, because when you're dealing with enterprise, it's just a different game. But the key takeaway here is that giving your users an option to be able to report bug is just really important. It's just that simple. And we've always done that. Worked out really well. It turns out that sending that information in and having it being triaged into a ticketing system, and then having AI take up that information and run with it in order to sort of create, either fix the code or fix the problems or whatever it is, like game changer. So as you start to build your business, as you start to get more customers, this workflow of email straight into GitHub, straight into a actual thing, and I'll show you what I mean by that, because I'll give you an example of it. So if you go into our repo and we go to issues, for example, here we say P1 purchase order mobile availability, right? it basically tells me, the name of the customer, the priority level, the problem, then it highlights it. And what it's doing is basically taking that same very simple bug report that's coming from here, it's taking that bug report, it's taking the screenshot, is translating it and through Cloudflare workers and basically pulling it into the app, into GitHub, so that I could then basically review it and be like, yeah, okay, this is actually a problem. Then I would click on assign task to an AI and say something like, this bug is a known problem. The reason why we have this problem is because of XYZ on the back end, and you need to address this problem, etc. And then just click on assign and let the AI kind of work on it on the background, right? That has been sort of a major unlock for us in terms of just allowing us to be able to just address these issues at scale rather than having things. Now, interestingly, see, they have a feedback form here. Let's see what it does. Oh, pick the repo, the branch. Yeah, see, this is, nobody wants to read on how to submit a bug. You just want to be able to just submit a bug and move on with your life. So yeah, definitely one thing that most technical people or people that are building applications don't really think about, right? How do you deal with support? How do you deal with your customers? How do you deal with just the influx of challenges that's going to come by building an app? Okay, so that's one for sure. And then, categorizing it, obviously. Okay, now I actually believe we can take this a step further, which is, in the support world at least, is given some sort of voice capability. So this is something I'm working on right now. You can use LiveKit, Livekit, okay? Fantastic tool, ambitious product, very well implemented, I think. And just has some really cool UI. So I actually took it and let me see if I could try it on here. Let's see if I could try it. Yeah, like see, their UI just out of the box comes with like a cool interface that you could kind of subscribe to. So what we've been doing with this is I've been trying to implement this in all of my applications so that if you have a question, you could just talk to the AI, not chat to the AI, talk to the AI, have the AI do the research in the background, get you the answer, and then bring it back up to you. Okay, this is something from a support standpoint that just gives you a lot of like just leverage of your time, resources, and the people in the backend team don't have to do as much work because you're thinking. And I give you a real example of that for our application, the one that I'm working on right now, that I'm going to be launching next week, is we're building out and have implemented voice right at the bottom here that I could just click and start talking to a voice agent that will basically have a conversation with me about pretty much any single thing in the application, right? So that's a really good intuitive way, especially in where we are today with technology. It's just, yeah, you can do it. Business operation, business management, meetings, follow-ups, right? Like planning. So not sexy topic, but relevant. Let's talk about meeting tools. So I've been using Read AI now for, geez, I don't even know how long it is. I've been using them for quite a while now. Fantastic product, fantastic tool, does what it's supposed to do, probably with the exception of your email address not being verified in a while. So, okay, we'll do that later on. Or let me just do it right now before I forget. So email, where is it? Read AI is just a fantastic tool when it comes to being able to just make sure that you could get all your meetings, answer all the questions that your customer is thinking. But more importantly, what I've been doing is when we have meetings with customers, this is my personal meeting, so we could use that, or let's see one that I could use as a reference. Yeah, sure. So what we would do is just basically take the transcript, pull it out. So copy, where's the copy button? Over here, transcript, copy the transcript, and it's just simple. Go to ChatGPT. This seems very obvious, but it's just one of those really good hacks that like just gives you so much leverage. Go to ChatGPT and say something like, can you do a full review of this meeting and pull out all of the action items and then label them by priority based on all of the things that I have to get done on this project. Now, if you do this and you do it with at least a project in ChatGPT, you get even more leverage because now it has context about your project in order to kind of do the right thing. So we will do this specifically for things like development conversations, customer problems, etc. Because then we could just come up with a hyper-focused list. And then the cool thing is you could just add ChatGPT and just tell it to just send it to your GitHub tool, which is just like the easiest thing to do because now you end up with this, and that's one of the ways that we would do this. And then you could give it a specific format, tell it to deal with issues, and like put it in a very specific format so that it consistently and reliably does the same thing every time. The truth is, though, this is where like something like Claude Skills actually come into play, because Claude Skills does this for you. It just does. Who's familiar with Claude Skills? Who's used Claude Skills before? Put a one in the chat if you've actually used Claude Skills. Claude. If you've used Claude Skills and you actually know how to use it properly. So I got to be honest, like, and this is the good thing about technology. This stuff is changing, and it's changing so fast that what seemed like a useless feature is now, when I looking back at it, I was like, wow, that's actually really cool. So I remember when Claude Skills was actually launch. Sorry, I remember when Claude actually launched their Claude Skills, and when they launched it, I was like, I don't know if I need that. I'm not certain, but I didn't use it for like a few months, and then I started using it, and once I realized the value of these skills, it's like next level. So just for those who don't know and never heard about Claude Skills before, what Claude Skills actually allows you to do is set up a project so that you have let's call it a folder with specific instructions that you can repeat consistently over and over and over again. And it really helps the model solve a fundamental problem, which is hallucination, or, the model sort of like losing context or losing, deterministic. It's not being deterministic, meaning that it's not consistently doing the same thing over and over reliably. And that's a problem. So the skills actually solve the problem. And the real question is, how does it work? And the truth is, it's just a text file. It's just a super basic text file. But in that text file, you could say, for this action, use this script. For this particular task, do this, right? You could tell it exactly what to do. And then you could get the AI to kind of repeat the same script over and over and over again, right? But fantastic way to get things going. So just to give you a real example of that, and pull up my Claude, because I was doing that this week. Hang on, I gotta get my yeah, okay, there we go. Yeah, so this is Claude. If you're going into, where is it? Into the settings, and then back here, and then you go to I'm forgetting where it is now. Is it capabilities? Skills, customization. Yeah, okay, here. There we go. Just, yeah. So now if you go into skills, now you could basically put together skills. And I created this skill for video prompting. I won't talk much about this today, but okay, fine. I'll just share it. So I created a video prompt skill to be able to prompt the AI in order to create videos. And then I did this, which I think is the coolest thing ever. So hang on a second. Let me back up. Let me back up for a second here. Where is it? We'll go to my launch. Go to intro skit. Yep. So I created, by generating, a bunch of avatars. This guy, Rick, the CEO. This guy, Evan, the sales guy, okay, and a few other characters, Sophia, okay. And then what's crazy is got ChatGPT to create a scene, something like this, where they're in the office doing stuff, okay, got them to do this. And then with that, was able to, look at this. This is crazy. Okay, I won't show the whole video here because I'm actually going to be running it as a marketing campaign and it's not done as yet. But this is crazy. Okay, by prompting all those images, I could then do this. Look at this. Okay, isn't that crazy? Right? And I was able to generate an entire video just by creating those imaginary crack characters out of thin air. The issue that I was running into is the some of the personalities, it just didn't feel too human, so I'm kind of working on that. I'm hoping to get that launch out today so I can actually run a marketing campaign on LinkedIn with it. That's basically my hope and my goal, assuming that I could get some time before obviously the weekend, because I got my kid this weekend. So and we're just going to be doing stuff, so that's why. But anyway, besides the point, that's what. So okay, sorry, I missed the point as of what a Claude skill is. So what I was able to do is I was able to come up with a scene. So for example, I'll say something like, can you create a scene where a guy is running down a mountain with, I don't know, superhuman speed, and have a camera sort of following that person behind. And then I'll say, can you use my Claude skill to create the framework in order to get this done, the video editing skill. So now I could tell it that, and now it knows I want to use my skill in order to do that. And so this, instead of it giving me back like a basic prompt, actually what I should do, I'm just for the sake of demoing here, I'm going to take this as my second prompt, and then I'm going to do a new prompt just so you could see the difference. So can you create the same with a guy, superhuman, blah, blah, blah. Can you use my, so here, where it says, can you use my, in order to get this done, I want to get rid of that. And I'll just basically put this out as it is, and you'll see the difference in terms of what the prompts do. Okay. So this is without the skill. Okay. So it's obviously going to try, oh, you know what? I take it back. It's actually going to still use the skill because it knows that it needs to use the skill. I take it back. I think what I have to do is I actually have to disable the skill. But okay, fine. Whatever. It's fine. It is what it is. So in either case, what it's doing, if you notice, is that, okay, let it finish running this thing first. Let's see. No, that's mountain scene. Okay, let it finish this thing. But what it's going to do is going to use the actual skill, because it knows that I'm talking about video editing, and it knows that it needs to do video editing specific things. So it's going to basically sort of craft a message around video editing. The key here is that you can do this for anything. So for example, okay, well, let's let it load, right? So you see here, shot 1, impact entry, ground level, exactly what needs to happen at the ground level. Shot 2, exactly what needs to happen for the second shot, exactly what happens to the third shot, right? And you might be sitting here thinking, well, Dwayne, I don't really do video, so this is not relevant to me. Well, if you do any single thing repeatedly, which pretty much all human beings do, that's on the computer at least, you can create a skill. Okay. So for me, the actually here's a skill that I could do because I'm doing this right this minute, is I could say, can you use the create skill in order to create a skill that will help me on a weekly basis come up with content for my school community, and also come up with a title and a description, one for LinkedIn, one for YouTube, and one for Twitter, so that I could broadcast the notification to ensure that people would potentially show up to my live stream on a regular basis. And also make sure that you nudge me on multiple topics every single week so that I don't do it last minute all the time. Create a skill, and then we're going to set it up as a schedule. Okay, so here, right? So what it's going to do is going to use Claude Code has a built-in skill creator tool. It's going to use that skill in order to create more skills. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay, we'll see how that goes in a sec. Wait for it. And then you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do something for 2 seconds here, which is I'm going to actually break off. I'm going to give myself permission to break off because I forgot to get my coffee from upstairs. So hang on. Okay, so hang on. What kind of school community? So it's thinking, no, it's called Vibe Code. It's called Vibe Code to Profit. Okay, and then it's let's do it this way. Right. So this one here, this is the community. So I'm going to put that, and then we teach. I'm going to say I teach people how to do vibe coding, how to build apps, how to run a business, how to be an entrepreneur, how to launch products into the real world. And it's basically a safe place so that people can just kind of share and ask questions about challenges. So what broad topics or industry trend? Okay, so he's asking me more questions that I want to think. So industry tips, broad topics, themes or skills, suggestions around content, student behind the scenes, sure, and then motivational mindset, yes, okay. Something else, so every single thing that has to do with AI and vibe coding and being productive, building apps, AI apps. Next. So when do you want a weekly nudge to arrive in your inbox? Should we go with Sunday evening? Let's go with Sunday evening because these things should be posted like a week in advance. Let's do that. All right. So here, so again, what it's doing is it's just crafting all of the information to kind of put together a skill so that I could then do this repeatedly, consistently over and over again without having to do the same work. And I could always tweak the skill, but this is just going to give me sort of an initial first draft, right? And it's hard to explain why this is so important because it just seems like, well, I could just prompt the model to do this. Well, no, it's not that straightforward because you can prompt the model, but guarantee you're a human, so you're kind of flawed. We all are. So you could prompt the human one way and get one result. Then you could prompt the AI another way. You could get a different result. And if you keep doing that every single time, it just becomes more work. The skill allows you to do it repeatedly, consistently, all the time. Okay. Now, while I'm talking about this, I'm also thinking about one thing that can be done to improve the skill, which is to have it go out and look at my previous past content of what actually performed and then come back and make suggestions for the new set of topics, right? That would be the way to go. Streambo.com. Okay, buddy. Yeah. Right? So, okay. So while that's generating, I'm literally just going to run upstairs for 2 seconds here. I'm going to get myself my coffee, which I forgot to pick up. And then I'm going to be back. I should put a message saying we'll be back in 2 seconds, shouldn't I? Yeah, give me 1 second here. Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to do this, but I don't want to fade on you guys. I don't want to fade on you guys. So, where is it? What is this? Is this it? No. Okay, I'll just leave this up for now. And then I'll say, can I do it right? Can I write? Be right back. Yeah, no. Can I do a, where is it? This one here? Yeah. No, we don't want white. We want white. Boo, boo, boo. Black. White. There we go. Really? This one maybe? Yeah, there we go. B R B. Sorry. Give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna run upstairs, grab my coffee, and I will be back in a sec. I'm just gonna mute my mic so I don't make it. Yeah. Muted. No, there we go. I'm back. Sorry, did you guys disappear on me? No, I'm back. All right. Sorry. I was up there and I realized I needed to get some food as well too. Some snacks. Um, where are we? So we're talking about Claude Skills and what are some of the things that you could build as a repeatable thing. So see now it's gonna ask me, okay, so just to recap here. Okay, so I said, hey, I want to create a Claude skill that is going to help me with my community building on a weekly basis. And what it's going to do, it'll help me to come up with some content, title, and description for LinkedIn, for YouTube, for Twitter, right? So I can broadcast notification to everyone and give me some potential topics for my live stream. And I wanted to schedule it. So it's going to schedule it on a weekly basis, and it's going to do Sunday evening at 7 p.m. It's going to basically send me do a notification about that. So I'm going to say schedule. Sure. Okay. Click allow. Right. So what did that actually do? Let's go look at the skill. Okay. So see, it's called Vibe Code Content Planner. This is the skill. It's literally just a text file. So this is the description: weekly planner for Vibe Code to Profit School on school community. Use this skill every week evening whenever Dwayne asks for his weekly content plan to generate full week's content strategy, including 4 to 5 topics each, with a platform ready, title, description for LinkedIn, for YouTube, for Twitter or X. Also generate live stream angles with community teasers, copy topics, right? It's just a whole 9 things that it's going to basically do on a regular basis consistently without me having to sort of intervene and keep doing the same thing over and over. So now it's given some context. Dwayne runs a weekly school community, Vibe Code to Profit. Here's the link. His audience is people that learn how to vibe code, build AI-powered apps, and launch products and run a business. It's a safe support system for builders, etc. Right? So it's just given context to the AI. And literally all this is the AI created a document that the AI will then use to create more stuff, right? So let's see what else it has. So quick picks. Okay, so here's where it gets interesting, right? So every single thing here so far is pretty, let's call it table stakes. It's really just a glorified prompt. It's just a big prompt that you could just drop in and it'll give you consistency around the content. What I actually wanted to do is I wanted to go and review my past topics on YouTube. I wanted to go look at my LinkedIn profile and I wanted to pull topics that I've and I wanted to kind of classify which ones have done well, so I could either do more or less of that, or it could do adjacent topics, and it could find other creators that are similar to me and do similar stuff. Right, so with that in mind, I have about, let's say, 2 creators that I have in mind that I really actually like. One is the woman from, there's a girl called, I don't know her name, but she's from Blotego. So I'm going to say, okay, this skill is great, but it's not detailed enough. I also want you to go and compare some of my competitors, or I wouldn't call them competitors, but my fellow content creators, see what they're doing, and then pull ideas from what they're doing and mix it in with the stuff that I'm doing so that we could come up with original content, but also content that's actually working. So there's no point in us coming up with random topics. We want to see what's actually working. So things that are like high in views on their channel and on their platforms, and use that to kind of boost our own. Okay, so with that, we're going to basically pull in, I'm just going to use 2 content creators that I know for sure because I really like their stuff and I think they're doing fantastic. Oh, speaking of the devil, she's live right now doing stuff. Look at this, 400. One day we'll get, oh, I can't share that. Yeah, here. By the way, if you don't know this girl, go follow her. She's really, really good. I like her stuff. And she has a SaaS platform as well too. Here, look at this. 401 watching. Crazy. And she's talking about Claude, is it? Yeah, Claude marketing skills. Look at that. We're on the same topic today. Anyway, I like her. She's good. Go follow her. Follow me as well too, but you could follow her. She's very good. And we're both live at the same time. This is how I got to figure out the time that they are not on, because they're stealing my people. A week of content in 60 seconds. It's funny. We're actually on the same topic, more or less. Look at this. That's crazy. A week of content in 60 seconds. Blotego. Blotego is her platform. I actually use it. I pay for her platform, actually, just so you know. Blotego. So I use this to help me with content. See here, Blotego, you can go here and pull content from Twitter or X and get ideas on what type of topics you want to search for, and then use that to kind of help you recreate your own topics itself. So she's actually really good. Like, I'm not just saying that because of thing. I legit think that this girl is like just killing it. So with that, we're gonna do what we're just gonna put in her page, and then I'll find one other YouTuber that I actually think is really good. Why am I putting this off screen? I put this on screen for you guys to see. So Claude Claude Skills, okay. And again, I'm showing you guys this so you understand how to actually come up with your own thing, because when you're running the business, and it's not just about like vibe coding, it's about coming up with a strategy so you can consistently keep generating content, because the game is content. I can't stress that enough. The game is content. Now, obviously, I can't find the guy. There's one guy that I really like that I think he's actually, like, he calls things for what it is. Let me see, Claude Skills. Let me see. What would I search for on this thing? Because I don't even know his name, other than he's a YouTuber that I recognize. What would be the? Let's do. Let me see. OpenAI new model. See if he'll show up again. If not, then I'll just find somebody else and just use them just for the sake of this conversation. Quinn to. You know, this guy's pretty good. I'll use him. I'll just use him. Yeah, this guy's pretty good. I like him too. AI strategy and daily basis. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to use these two people. And where are we? With the skill. Make this its own window. So we're going to use these two people. So come up with a script that basically pulls content on a regular basis from these guys, not on a weekly basis, like just overall on your channel and what's performing for this week or last week, so that we can kind of use that to kind of keep track of trending topics, so that we can basically create stuff that's relevant based on what the industry and what people are looking for. Our goal is not to steal their content. Our goal is to be inspired by their stuff and then basically tailor it based on what I'm doing in my own business. So for the best performing videos that they have, you're going to basically be able to pull those content, and that's going to help me to create also TikTok videos also. Okay, so with that, we're just asking it to improve the skill, right? So we're just tweaking the skill to get it to a place where it actually becomes useful for us, because the issue is that right now it's great, but it's kind of generic, right? It's talking about building, it's talking about app ideas, it's talking about product strategies, etc. But we have no guidance because we don't really know what's working and what's not working on the internet. So that's what we want to do. We want to build that into the system so that we can know what's actually going to be working, so that when we post content, we're not just posting into thin air. We're getting real feedback, right? Because let's be real, we're playing an algorithm game here. We're playing an AI game. That's literally what we're doing. And what is that AI game? The AI game is very simple. You are trying to figure out which content will actually work to get the algorithm to push your content, so that the algorithm could send more traffic to you, so that they could sell more ads. That's the game. And you can't hate the player, or hate the game, hate the player, or whichever one it is. Don't hate the game, hate the player. I don't remember that. Anyway, point is, it's an algorithm game. So you got to cater to the algorithm, which means that you will see the same topic over and over again. Now, here's the deal. Even though somebody set a topic and you set a topic doesn't mean that you're copying them, because you could just put your own spin on the exact same topic. If you know that a topic about Claude Skills is popping off, why wouldn't you create Claude Skills topic, right? Like, why wouldn't you create in your own voice something that you learned about Claude Skills, right? It's the reason why I built OpenCloud, or at least I'm working on OpenCloud, because no, I'm doing OpenCloud because I actually want to use it for my business, but I'm also talking about it right now because it's a popular thing. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. So let's see what it comes back with. Meantime, I'm going to shove food in my face here. Okay, do you have an API key? So do a web search. Use a web search, maybe web search. No API key needed. Or do you want to use a API key? Tell you what, use a web search for now, just to keep it simple. Here's my coffee here. So just to be clear, the skill that we just wrote, that is mostly text, actually it's all text. Okay, it's all text. It's going to now write some code that's going to do the work of going out to the internet and pulling in content. And it's going to then, in this skill, it's going to say when you need to go research the latest videos, run this script. And it's going to call out to the internet, and the script is going to run programmatically and pull that content in. That's the power of using a skill, right? Otherwise, you would have to tell the AI every single time, hey, when you're doing this, can you go do this, right? Even if you were to just keep these prompts, let's just say as a copy and paste prompt, right? And you could copy it and paste it into ChatGPT or Claude. Either will work. It will work, but it's the script part that makes this powerful. And the fact that you can share this very easily without having to share it as a folder, you could just save it and export it. There's a way to export the skill and send it over to other people. Okay. Okay. Drink some water. All right. Got some more coffee in me, so I'm more renewed. I felt like my energy was slumping there for a second. Okay. So this is what I mean by sort of doing this whole repeat standard, right? We're talking about business operations and meeting notes and follow-up planning and SOPs and all that kind of stuff. So the same way that I'm doing a skill for content creation, it's the same way I can do a skill for a business operation, which would be, for example, a meeting. So let's do one of those, okay? So Read AI has these meeting notes. Now, you know what? Here's what I can. Let me see if this could be done, because I don't know if this can be done. Read AI, they have an API, but I don't know if their API is any. Let me see if they have an actual API. We'll see if we can do it this way. Read AI API. Okay. Read AI helps enter integration with meeting notes summary, Read API, and MCP. Yeah, there we go. So Read AI API MCP. So Read AI now offers both REST APIs and MC. Fantastic. This is what we want. Okay. So let me give you the workflow. Very simple. EX. Where is it? Come on. What tool would you want to use today for drawing? You know what? We're just going to go with Microsoft Whiteboard. I don't know why I keep going back to this tool, but it's all right. Wrong email. There we go. Okay. So it's like this. Make it bigger. Let's do red. Let's do black. And then make this bigger so I don't have to keep doing the same thing. Okay, right. So it's like this. It's, let's say this is Zoom. Z-O-O-M. Okay. The way how it works is you sign up for Read AI. So that's called Read AI here. Okay, this could be any tool, by the way. I just use Read AI, but there's Otter, there's Fire. Oh my goodness. I have a whole video on this topic if you're interested, or message me if you got questions about any one of these tools. Anyway, so you sign up for Read AI or any meeting tool of your choice. The meeting tool basically monitors your calendar. So let's just say this is your calendar. Toot, 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 right? You have an event here, Thursday. The Read AI monitors the calendar event, and then it knows that a calendar event is going to happen on that particular date. So when that happens, it automatically joins the meeting on your behalf in Zoom, okay? And it sits in as a meeting. Some of the newer ones don't even do this anymore. It just, you don't even know that it's on the call. But it records, okay? And then it basically saves the transcript. 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is my document here that looks like a transcript, okay? So what do we want to do? We want to take this transcript now, and we want to extract the content out of it using some kind of AI system. And we want to turn it into standard to-do lists. To-do lists. Okay? That's what we want to do. And in order to do that, we basically we can create a skill. This is where the skill comes in. S-K-I-L-L. Right? So we're going to create a skill. What is the skill going to do? It's going to, use another color. It's going to basically go read the meeting notes, and then it's going to basically convert the notes into a structured format, and then it's going to basically create a to-do list for us. That's the skill. The question is, how is it going to get access to the thing? So we're going to also, because we have Read AI has a REST API, doesn't matter what that means, or they have an MCP. These are just the keywords that you need to look for, right? What we're going to do is the skill is going to automatically go do that for us. It's going to go access that information for us. So I don't even have to think about how to do this because the AI is smart enough to know how to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, copy this, and I'm going to basically put it into my Claude skill. Okay, so let's update this. This is my vibe coding. We're going to do another one. We're going to come back to that one in a sec. So I'm going to say, generally speaking, I do a lot of meetings, and I want to create a skill that's going to help me not just summarize my meeting, but also get the extracted to-do items. And if it's a customer meeting, for example, you're going to create a GitHub action, a GitHub issue for those customer problems. If it's a business-focused meeting, where it's basically just about planning, operations, discussion, that type of deal, then you're going to come up with a sort of like general action plan, and then you're going to email sort of like the summarized version of that to me based on your assessment of what has to be done and all the things that I have to do and all the things that I promise that I'm going to do for my customer. So that's going to be a skill. The tool that I use on a regular basis is Read AI in order to get that done. But I also want you to, I don't want to have to do this manually. So I want you to read my calendar, see which ones I have meetings for, and then basically pull out the meetings. Now, the thing is, I have meetings that are just regular meetings. They're not like actual meetings. They're just like to-do list items on my personal list. So it's important that you actually evaluate which ones are like real meetings versus sort of what I'm calling fake meetings for this conversation. and then pull those out and use that. For example, every single day I have a sales block time for making cold calls. So that's not a meeting. I also have events on my calendar where every Monday is blocked off because I don't have scheduled meetings on those days. And I have on my every Friday, I have time blocked off for vibe coding going live. So those are all standard things that I don't want you to basically, I just want you to exclude, and you need to be consistent with that. But for every Monday to Friday, you're going to once per day, you're going to review what's in my calendar and extract any of the actual meetings. And then you're going to basically set a reminder to yourself to pull those meeting notes and then send me a comprehensive, what do you call it? It's a comprehensive report on all the things that we talk about. Okay. So we're going to do that. So that's a lot. That was a lot of stuff. Okay. And then I'm going to say something like, create a proper skill for this, using all the best tools, right? I normally use Google Calendar and Google and Gmail for email, and Read AI. And then I want to paste the Read AI link, the support link. That's it. Should we use Sonnet for this? Yeah, why not? Yeah, we're going to use Sonnet. Sure. Sonnet is fine. Okay, so that's a lot of things that I'm actually doing here. Call on. Sorry, not sure I get the reference, Mr. Delgato. Call on. If you're saying hi, hey, how are you doing? Good to see you. But yeah, so what are we doing here, guys? Okay, we're building out these standard operating procedures, right? Business operating things that we have to do behind the scenes to run a business every single week, every single day, right? It's just things that you just have to do to kind of keep the business running. And it goes far beyond just sort of like vibe coding, right? Now, this is just generic information for running a business at all, right? So it doesn't have to do with anything with vibe coding, but this is vibe coding community. So I'm kind of keeping it on topic for that. But coming up with a standard SOP, which is what, most big organizations do, is now something that can just be automated in Claude. And just to be clear, standard SOP stands for standard operating procedures. And for those who don't know, it's just a document that basically outlines the things that you have to do in order to get this task done. For example, if a customer complains and asks for a refund, these are the steps that you need to do in order to issue a refund. Bring it up to the manager. Ask the manager if is any single thing that we can do for the customer, and then figure out if we need to go to HR or whatever. Like all these different things, you put it in a document. That's what an SOP is. The good news is a Claude skill now becomes an SOP that you could just put it as a one-liner and say, these are all the things that I do when I do this XYZ task. Create a skill for it, and then you just keep running, right? That's the mission, and that's what's super important, and that's really important to understand about this way of running a business, right? Because you can automate a lot. Okay, so let's and in the true sense of automation, I'm just gonna go back to my OpenClaw, because I started this call and I mentioned OpenClaw, and I wanted to know what it's done for me so far. So I'm just gonna in real time, I'm just gonna show you guys this Eventbrite. Oh, let's check out the Eventbrite out thing. So fix your sales operating system. So just to be clear, I did not do any of this. This created this event for me. Product event live, reserve spot. So the issue here is that it doesn't have sign in. So let me so hang on a second. I need to ask it, like, who did you create the Eventbrite? This is what's cool. So just okay, I'm gonna try to get you guys up to speed. Sorry, I'm doing multiple things here. Okay, can you review the Eventbrite details? And we need images, actually. For all of these events, we need images, because for the Eventbrite and all the other stuff, we don't have images. So let me give you a few images that you could use, and just keep them so that you could just reuse them over and over. And if you need to create more images, I'll give you one base image that you could use to create more images from. Okay, so this is what cool this is. I'm literally just I'm chatting to this AI, OpenClaw, which I'm going to give a name soon. I have to give it a new name. And that's my computer over there. Okay, that computer is over in that corner, but I'm just chatting to it. I could chat to it on this desktop. I could chat to it when I'm going for a walk, right? I could chat with it anywhere, and it's just working for me on that computer. This is a concept that most people don't really even understand as yet because it's so new of a concept. Okay, but look at this. So I'm going to do this, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a few images. So I'm going to tell it, where is it? Let's see if we can find it. Documents, downloads. Let me see what this is about. Okay, so this is one base image. So I'm going to rename this to base image number 1. Okay. So that's, oh, of course I can't do drag and drop in, in Teams. Why would you be able to do drag and drop in Teams? Because, like sending, oh my goodness, get me started on this application. I can't send an image or an attachment to a one-on-one person in Teams. Isn't that crazy? Great. Okay. All right. Tell you what. So I'm just going to, so it looks like I can't send you one-on-one images in Teams. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to email myself a bunch of base images that you should use. You're going to get those emails, you're going to pull them down, and then you're going to use that in the future to create more images for events, okay? And use ChatGPT, the latest model, because it's really good at creating images. And some of the images you'll have to put me inside of it. And some of the images just want you to put the product. So I'm going to do that. And then what I'll do, I can't show this on screen, but I'm going to send myself, basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to attach some of these images like this one as base image. So I'm going to use this one here, and I have a few more that I'm going to use. Let me see, there's this one here, right? These are base images here that just have sort of like placeholder. There's nothing on it. So we're going to use that in order for it to, and then to tell it to basically create more images. So let me just rename base image number 2. Okay, and then what else? I have some other base images that I could use. So let me sort this by image. Let me see, what is this about? Hidden costs. This is what I did today. That's fine. What other images I have? Do I have, what else do I have? This one. Just trying to find ones that I could actually reuse multiple times. Look at this. ChatGPT give me some chests and some arms. I wish it was that easy. I would prompt my way to just a bodybuilder body. Let's just say 6-pack and all. Okay, hang on. Okay, 1 second. Just trying to find launch event image. Is this it? Yeah, so this is the launch event image. Yeah, okay. So I'm just going to tell it this, so rename. Oh my goodness. Launch. Right, I'm giving it all of the things that it needs to do, and then I'm going to ask it to put it in a specific folder as well too. So it doesn't keep asking me the same set of questions over and over about things. So compose, again, I'm just sending myself an email. Dwayne to my own email address here. Dwayne, that's me. Then I'm going to put launch event images And then I'm going to drag this guy over. What's the difference between this one and this one? Okay, yeah, that's just okay, got it. So we're going to put this one. No. Okay, 1 second. You guys know how to send email, so I don't need to show you how to do that. So we're going to put that image. We're going to put, where's the other base image? Come on. So base image number, come on, where are you? Base image, where is it? A, B, C. Jeez. I literally just created a base image just 2 seconds. Here, recent. There we go. Of course. Can't find the image. Okay, 1 second. You're gonna find it in 2 seconds here. So base image, where are you? Banner. Okay, this is it here. This is one. Come on. Base image. Number 2. Oh, geez. Come on. Okay, so that's the second one. And then there was one more I wanted to put. Join the community. No, that's not what it is. Base image here. There we go. Okay, and then I have one more image that I'm going to just pull from. Let's do this quickly. So we're going to pull this from ChatGPT because I created some images for my actual app, and I haven't actually used it in any single thing, but we're going to do that. So LinkedIn creation. So we did this for LinkedIn. Come on, where are you? Launch event, no. Go to Market Command Center. Come on, where are you? Launch event. Yeah, it's hard to find the images that I generate here after I get, like, if I don't pull them down and organize them right away, and I haven't been doing that lately. Okay, no, this is just competitor research. This is the only downside to like doing too much with all the chats. Okay, this might be it. No, this is okay. We're in the right direction. So launch plan. Come on. Images. Lead score AI images. Let's do a search. Lead score AI images. Command center, maybe this one. Go to market, command center setup, revamps kit, outbound design. For a website that has like, okay, maybe it's this one here, maybe. No, that's not it. Oh, okay. Tell you what, we're just gonna do it live. It's fine. Don't worry. Annoying. Can't find anything. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do get preview. Okay, I'm just going to no wrong side. Preview.get lead score to AI. And I'm going to go to, yeah, so what I'm trying to do is I'm going to try to, I already did this before, but I'm just going to do it again. So it's a good thing because then I need to increase the screen resolution here for a sec. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a screenshot of this and I'm going to get ChatGPT to kind of create a product launch, product highlight video, image. Okay, so settings, accessibility, where are we? Display. Come on. Why am I going so crazy here? There we go. Display. There. Okay. Right. Just needed to go bigger. And then right. So this is real data. So we're going to basically take a screenshot, go to ChatGPT, go to launch, it's just crazy because I literally just had this yesterday and I can't find it already. Okay, I'm going to create a new project image and I'm going to say, can you create this based on every single thing you know about lead score, what it's about? Can you take this screenshot and create a product image that I could use to put up on things like product hunt, etc. Okay. Highlighting some of the key capabilities of the system. Things like voice and automation and all of the things that are relevant, calling, etc. Okay. So I'm just getting it to just design a product image for me. And it actually does a really good job of doing product images. It's actually fantastic on how impressive this thing is. So just to be clear, I'm going to do that. And I'm going to take another screenshot. Let's find another screenshot. Maybe this call-in section maybe. And what I'll tell it to do, yeah, we'll just take a screenshot of this as an example. Okay. And then I should put the blur on, sorry, so I can blur the information. Right. Okay, so we're going to do that. When this is finished, we're going to get it to generate another image, and that image will just use two product image for now, and later on I'll go back and clean it up. I'm just trying to get the point across as to how we do it. I'm just getting a little long-winded here. But the point is very simple. I can now create these images. I'm going to email them to myself, and then I'm going to come across back to Teams, where I'm going to tell it to go to my email and pull those images out and then add them to the Eventbrite or to LinkedIn or to any of the other places that it needs to go out on. Okay, so allow. This is for Claude. Okay. Hopefully this is making sense, guys. Sorry, I'm trying to stuff my face on a live. Yeah, hopefully this is making sense, because once you understand the power of using these skills to create these standard SOPs for every aspect of your business. If you notice, I've only hit the first three. We won't even have time to cover the rest. But, to deal with your support ticket issue, to deal with your bug classification, for deal with handling complaints, summarizing them, putting them in a file, to deal with meeting summaries, to deal with follow-up planning, to deal with just standard operating procedures, to deal with sales and research and follow-up emails and call summary, just being able to just making sure that you have a well-oiled machine, right? So that when you vibe code your app, or you build an app, or you run a business, that you have these procedures that will allow you to just consistently and reliably, without even breaking a sweat, get the job done in a consistent manner. That's the key, right? And it's just a skill. The good news is that now you could pass that skill on to a junior developer or a junior assistant or somebody, and they could have the confidence that you'll have the confidence that they'll be able to do the job consistently and reliably, because it's now their responsibility. You just set up your SOP. That's the power, right? And you have to start thinking in this way. You just have to. It's just, this is not an option. This is literally the difference between you being a good company and a sucky company. This is the difference between you being a great entrepreneur and just an average sort of like Joe Blow, right? These skills matter. I can't stress that enough. Okay, they matter. It's not just about vibe coding. It's not just about just creating an app and just launching it, and then you're like, well, hope for the best. There's back end stuff that has to happen, and it's just very important. So okay, let's go back to our image and see what happened. We're doing a lot of stuff. If you notice, we're just jumping around, but this is just the nature of all of this. Okay, so the only downside here is that it did it in a dark color, and I don't want it in a dark color. Okay, this feels a little bit too busy for me, and I don't like the dark color of the background. So just lighten it up, because it's going to go on more of lighter interface websites, and it's just going to be too much. And get rid of some of the busyness. It feels very AI heavy for me. Focus on about 3-4 key features, and that's about it. Maybe 5 at max. Leave lots of breathing room for the text. Okay, so, I should tell it to anonymize the data as well too. Yeah, I should tell it to do that as well too. All right. So, but the cool thing is, right, I can do, like, this is what I'm doing, right? ChatGPT is really, really good at this now. Like, I almost want to say this is the best out there. I know Nano Banana was pretty good, but Nano Banana, was messing up text. This thing here gets text like almost 100% of the time right. There's a couple of times when it kind of messes up a little bit, but for the most part, it's rock solid. Now it keeps changing the logo, which is annoying, but that's a different conversation. I'm going to run with it as is. All right. Almost there. So as soon as this image is finished, I'm going to pull it down. I'm going to put it inside of my email. I'm going to send the email, and then I'm going to get OpenCloud to go read that email and then go update all of the directories that it had non-images in. There we go. Better. Okay. So much better. AI lead scoring, AI call-in, speed dial, outreach, pipeline automation, research enrichment. Great. Right? Score leads, automate, outreach, call at scale. Fantastic. The only thing is it doesn't have my logo, but I'm just running with it as it is. No, I'm gonna put my logo. I changed my mind. Logo is important. Okay, so gonna go to, is it launch media? No. We're gonna go to documents. Oh my goodness, where am I? Yes, I know I have my documents in 2025. Okay, so just use one of these logos. Which one are you gonna use? Here, or yeah. Use a logo. Can you replace the icon with with this icon here, because this is my actual logo? Sorry. Yeah. Next to the where it says lead score on the left. All right. So I'm going to drop this in. Then, like I said, I'm going to put this into, send an email to myself, and then get OpenCloud to go read that email, get this stuff, put it in a safe place, because it's all the way on my other computer, and by all the way I mean literally arm's length away. Okay, but I don't have the time to even set up the network to connect those two things together, to put those files in the same folder. And if I have to do it, maybe I got to find a USB stick, which I don't even know if I have one right now. So I'm just literally just emailing myself and just tell OpenCloud, go get the email, go get the attachments from this email, and go do what you're supposed to do. That's literally the power here of setting up this automation stuff. Okay, so while we're doing that, we're going to go back to Claude. Let's see, daily meeting reminders. So we're going to see what the script does. So we're going to connect our Gmail. So it's asking me to connect my Gmail. So I'm going to connect that. basically I'm giving Gmail it permission to come up with my email. Allow. Okay. And then so that's one. Then we gotta allow it to connect to my calendar, which will be the same authentication thingy. So now it has access to my calendar. Okay. Has access to my calendar, and then I'm gonna get it to connect to Read AI. And I'm going to sign in with Read AI, allow. Perfect. Okay. So Claude now has access to my Gmail, my calendar, and my Read AI. And it's just going to pull that information out and just put it together and then basically send me a summary of what it's going to do, meeting review for every single day for the days that I have meetings. GitHub issues is going to create a GitHub token, needs whatever. So with customer pain points, your promises is needed. So I'm going to do this later on. I won't do this live right this minute. So I just need to put a GitHub token to give it a token so that it basically can send the create the GitHub action. All right. So now that I have that, 8 p.m. Monday to Friday. So it's going to basically run a task every single day at 8 p.m. Monday to Friday with all my meetings done from Read AI. And then it's just going to send me an email so I can review it every single day. So where do we see those schedules? Those schedules are in here on the schedule, right? So I got a weekly vibe coded every 7 p.m. Sorry, and then I got a daily meeting review. And this is going to be for my those are going to be for the two things that I got going on. So let's see. So weekly skills, mountain thing. Okay, so now let's go back to Read AI. Okay, yeah, it's fine. Whatever. I'm going to run with it. And then I'm going to go to open this up. I'll rename this to lead score AI launch event image. And then we're going to drop that into OpenClaw. I'm going to say, can you use these images going forward for meetings and for lead score and for using the base images to generate new images when needed for like YouTube video thumbnails, any of that kind of stuff, and use the latest ChatGPT model? Okay, so I'm just sending myself that. Now I'm going to come back into Teams. Okay, and I'm going to say, just read my email. I just sent myself an email. Read the email and download all the images. Put them in a folder. You could put them on the desktop because we're going to have other images. I put some of my personal images inside of there so that you could use those as base images to create new images. And then you're going to create another folder for Lead Score AI where we're going to start putting all of the assets related to for the directories. And then go back to Eventbrite and the other events where you posted stuff and make sure that the images are there. Okay, and that's what OpenClaw is going to do. It's just going to go off and do that stuff. Like every single thing that I ask it to do there, it's just going to do it. Right? It's just, I don't even have to think about it anymore. I'm not even at the computer that it's doing the thing on. It has its own browser. It has its own folder system. It has a full computer that it could just do its stuff on. Okay, so I'll pull the emails first, then create a reusable Lead AI access folder. Then I'll go through Eventbrite and event listings to verify which ones need added. Okay, that's it. I know we reached out before, but I wanted to check in. even if selling isn't on your radar, I'd still be interested in connecting and learn more about your business and how you're thinking about it long term. For context, Brian is a long-term acquirer of software businesses. We do not sell companies. Blur Toronto. I keep getting these emails over and over and over. Sell your business. For how much? Every week I get a notification if somebody wants to buy my business. Sorry, got distracted there for a second. Yeah, so where are we? I found the email, downloaded the 4 images, and pulled them under reusable desktop folder for lead score asset. I'm checking the dimensions now, and I'll use the best event image for Eventbrite first. Yes, right? Isn't that crazy, right? I'm literally treating this like an employee. This is an assistant job. This is every single thing that I'm doing here is what an assistant would do. I've had tons of assistants in my life, and the amount of sometimes guidance that I have to give them before they could even get up to speed on how to run my business. This thing here in less than 24 hours has been able to get fully up to speed, understands context, understands what the mission is, understands what the goal is, and is just going to town getting work done. All right. That's just like, you cannot go wrong with that. So that's what a skill is for. Okay. Now, you can find these skills online. I just want to mention this part very clearly. You can mention these skills online. You don't have to do what I'm doing there, which is basically creating these skills manually. You can just use online existing skills. You just got to be a little careful, because the skills that exist online may or may not have sort of vulnerabilities and people trying to do bad things. There's just bad people on the internet, so just don't download random stuff and then think, unless you properly reviewed it and you know what it's actually about. Okay. So these are just some sort of guidelines on how to kind of think about things all together. Like, use official examples as template, right? Copy the folder structure, build a simple skill first, right? Bug report, helper, that kind of stuff. Study the community repos, right? Look at them and kind of see how they're doing things. And then from there, you can kind of build out your own. But once you get the concept, honestly, I don't think you need to actually do this. Like, the community is great because there's just tons of different possibilities. So I think for me, what I've been doing is using the community to kind of understand like what's possible. And once I understand what's possible, I've just been doing my own, because I have my own way of doing work. I have my own process. I have my own procedure. And so that's been the way that I've been kind of dealing with it, right? So, yeah, we won't go into all of this stuff here, right? So the point is this. Actually, this is a good site. When you're doing when you're doing vibe coding, one of the things that you quickly realize is how much backend stuff that has to happen behind the scenes, right? Building the code, owning the code, handling all of the umpteen different set of processes and backend stuff that has to happen. It's really like it's a challenge altogether, right? It's just a lot of stuff that you have to kind of do on the back end. You're running a business. Let's just be real about it, right? So you can have 20 different vibe coded app. Think about it. You have to run 20 different businesses. That's a lot. Okay, not even Elon Musk, I think, has that many businesses. Okay, no, he has a lot of businesses. I actually think he has more than 20 businesses. Lots of them that we don't know. The Boring Company, SpaceX, Tesla, the Neuralink Company, XAI. Like, that's just 5 that I could think of off the top of my head, and I'm sure there's more that I'm missing. But anyway, the point is, he has a lot of companies. All right, and so yeah. So that's kind of sort of like the core of what I have for you guys. I'm gonna try to. I'll talk a little bit about just like general stuff because I'm kind of technically working here while we're doing this, which is crazy, right? I'm just spinning off my AI to kind of do stuff. So I'll sort of like show you guys some of the other things that I'm working on, just in passing. I found the email, I downloaded the email, etc. Okay, I don't know what it's writing. It seems to be writing a lot here. Oh, there's some caveats about this stuff that I should mention, which is number one is that, for example, the Claude skill that I'm using here is using ChatGPT. And I had to up my plan. I was for the longest while I've just been on a $20 a month plan. But now I moved it up to $100 a month. So now I'm at $100 a month in open ChatGPT, or $100 a month in Claude. I'm at $400 a month on GitHub because I keep having to upgrade. I think I'm on the enterprise level plan on GitHub. So this stuff adds up. Okay, I like all in AI related. I'm probably just like sub $1,000 a month plus or minus some months, right? Like it's but $1,000 a month in comparison to what are we be paying an employee to do all this stuff is not even. It's like table stakes. It's like nothing. Okay, so you got to kind of think about it that way. Okay, so here it's okay. Let's see what it's done. So done reading the images, launch event images. So it downloaded all 4 images, saved them. So lead score AI launch event image, base image 1, base image 2, launch event image 2. Created a base event for Eventbrite. Also added a README folder so that we know what each image is for and when to reuse them. Fantastic. I used 1080 by 1080 for Eventbrite. So let's go see the Eventbrite one. So let's see. Where's the image? Where's the image? I said it put the image in. Just added. Now, interestingly enough, it doesn't even show who this is for. Followers, lead score AI. Okay, because it created a brand new thing. No, but where's the image? Where's the image? Oh, there we go. It's just learning. Okay. All right, buddy. You used the wrong image here. See? So this is where it gets a little bit tricky. This image is not the right image. Okay. So I'm going to just tell it that. That's the cool thing. Right? It sent me a report and I was like, you used this is the wrong image. So here's what it needs to do. I just checked on the Eventbrite image and you used the wrong image for the launch event. I need you to actually look at the image and just double check that every single thing is correct. Now you use a base image, but the base, any single time you're using a base image, you have to actually create something out of it. So for the Eventbrite, you should be using the lead score AI launch event image. Or I don't know which one it is now. Hang on, let me check the email. I might have screwed that up. So the launch event image is what you need to use. And then there's a lead score AI launch event. Right, okay, so you're using one of my base image. Any single time you use a base image, it has to be created in ChatGPT to actually put text and content on top of it. Never use a base image and publish it anywhere on the internet because it's not an image that has any information of any relevance. For the Eventbrite, any single thing that has to do with events, you're going to use the image that's called launch event image. That one has the actual text that says fix your outbound and it has the date and the time and all that kind of stuff on it. And then the other image that says lead score AI launch event image, that is a product image. And that is a product image that you could use on things like Product Hunt and other places. So maybe it's a little confusing. So just rename the images accordingly so that you don't have that confusion, and then update the details and make sure that if you use the base image, that you send it to ChatGPT to create an image, and then you're going to pull that image down and then you're going to use that image. That's what the base images are for, not to be published everywhere. So please update your registry information about this. Okay, so that's now off. Okay, so let's see how long it takes, but it's gonna go try to fix this problem because this is ridiculous, right? You know, again, junior intern here, so don't know what to do and what not to do. You got to tell it what to do, and I should give it the logos for lead score, so it can basically pull in the logo for lead score and actually create something of a little bit of value. Now, if you do reserve spot, what happens? So it's a free event, lead score, and then how does it know to? Interesting. Yeah, so I'm hoping that it actually can put a proper link inside of there, but I don't know. I don't even know what email address this thing is using to to be able to publish this stuff. That's how crazy it is. And I care, but I don't care right now because I could always ask it to give me a full list of exactly what it's doing. But yeah, it's just creating its own event for me on the fly. Oops, that's my email. My bad. Sorry. Sorry to myself, I guess. So yeah, okay. So we've kind of jumped around quite a bit today. Hopefully, you guys got some value from it. You know, like this stuff is kind of like fluid. So as I pull more information and kind of stitch it together, I kind of live share this stuff, and that's what these calls are. So you know, they're not highly structured content. It's just let's go live, let's talk about this, and hopefully you get some value out of it. Hopefully, if you have, give me a thumbs up, give me a like, whatever it is. Why do I keep showing my email, man? Why do I keep showing my email? Yeah. So yeah. What else? Okay, let's see if it. I want to actually see if it actually does it. Right. So mountain scene event. Okay, so we did that. This is now new to skill. Can you run this skill right now just so I could see what the actual outcome looks like? I should actually. I want you to run. The reason why I'm doing this is because I want to actually see what it's going to send me. Because we created the skills, but we didn't actually get it to test. We didn't test it to see if it's right. And that's the other thing I should mention. It's like when you create a skill, you want to kind of run it a few times just so you can make sure that it's actually doing the thing that you say it's going to do. Because then you know that, you know, if you hand it off to an intern or an assistant or somebody else, that it's that it's focused on this task, that it's going to be consistent. Okay, and what I did is I have it just doing like general search on the internet as opposed to going to YouTube directly. And what it's going to do is just going to find videos of topics that make sense, and it's going to bring them back to me. So let's see what it actually does. We're going to do some testing on that while we wait on Mr. Claw here to get his act together. So let's see what it actually did. So you're right. I used the base image directly, which I should not have done. You're damn right about that. All right. I'm correcting it now. I will rename the asset folder files. So the purpose is clear. Upload the actual launch event image to Eventbrite and update the registry. Note, so base images are never published directly. I'm correcting the asset registry and Eventbrite images now. I'm also making the base image as source only, so I don't get to reuse on public mistakes. Yeah. So you know what I'm going to do while it's doing that, and while I'm in the given spirit of giving tasks to an AI to get work done for me, I'm going to give it my sort of folders or graphics. So I'm going to give it my, what's in social media? I'm going to give it, what's in here? This is for LinkedIn. Yeah, we don't need the LinkedIn stuff. Yeah, we do need the LinkedIn stuff. I'm going to give it more images because I'm going to give it all the lead score logos and stuff. So Dwayne So LinkedIn banner and logo. Use the lead score LinkedIn banner and logo going forward when we need to set up any new LinkedIn accounts or any single thing that requires a logo or for directories or any of that kind of stuff. Use these images. So what I'll do is I'm just going to give it the LinkedIn images, and then I'm going to give it the logos for lead score so that it knows how to properly generate images accordingly. Use the logos appropriately. Okay. Now, going forward in the future, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to give OpenClaw its own name and its own email address so it gets out of my inbox. Right now, I don't recommend that you actually do this. Right? There's too many vulnerabilities, there's too many issues, there's too many sort of things, especially if you don't know what you're doing. Okay, let me tell you. So, hey, I just sent you a new email. I sent it to myself. Go get the email. The email has all of the logos and icons for Lead Score AI. So I want you to pull those down, put it in the same folder, label them properly to know when to use them. Because I noticed, for example, on the Eventbrite, you don't have any logo icons or any single thing. And for any directories that needs icons or logos or all that kind of stuff, this is where you're going to get it for. So just make sure that you get that done as well. And go update the Lead Score, the Eventbrite. Okay, so I'm telling it to do that. Let's see, it said that it fixed this problem, so let's see. Okay, so Eventbrite it seems like, there we go, fantastic. Right? So look at that. Just being on a live, having a conversation, instructing an AI to go put out an event and publish it and tell me when it's done so I can go check its work. That, like, it doesn't get any better than this, guys. Like, if you're an entrepreneur, you understand. Let me rephrase that. If you're an entrepreneur and you have had to deal with employees, then you understand the sheer power that exists in instantly telling an employee, an assistant, an AI to go do something, and 5 minutes later it's done. Right? With human beings, you might have said that instructions 1 minute before their lunch break, and then it's like it's urgent to you but it's not as urgent to them, so they go off at lunch. You're like, hey, I asked you to get that tongue done. You're like, when are we going to get it done? Right? If you're a micromanager, right, hopefully you're planning a little bit more so you can give them some time to kind of work on things on your own. But the point is that I'm real time thinking about these issues, problems, challenges. I'm passing it on to my assistant, and he, she, whoever is just getting it done on another computer right beside me. I can't stress how powerful that is. I keep repeating the same thing over and over, but it's just, it needs to be shouted from the rooftop of the world that the way that we do work in the future and the amount of changes that's coming is real, and it's going to get better, worse. I don't know. Okay, I don't know, because a ton of people are losing jobs as a result of this level of capabilities. Somebody that would sit here all day and have to do this task of updating the event page on all the different social media and all this kind of stuff has just been done with an AI in 5 minutes while I'm on a live. So you tell me how the world is gonna accept this stuff. I don't know, but I'm just saying, changes are coming. Let's see what other people are doing. Hack before you launch. What does that mean? A live security workshop for AI. See, he got his logo here. What does he have? You built it with AI. Now watch how it breaks. Get free tickets. Watch here for free instantly. Understand AI MCP. This is a Microsoft form. This looks like a vibe coded form. Get tickets, $81. Followers. Hey, you know what? I just realized I should be putting my events live on Eventbrite. So we're gonna do exactly that. We're gonna create one because I should mention, going forward, I'll be live on Wednesdays if you're into sales stuff. The Friday calls are all vibe coding stuff, all vibe coding business operations, any single thing that I feel like talking about from an entrepreneur standpoint. Wednesdays, I'm going to be doing live on YouTube and LinkedIn, but mostly LinkedIn. And the YouTube, I should mention this here. So we're starting a brand new LinkedIn YouTube channel for my lead score AI business. It's been a while. I've had it for a while, but now we got literally 2 subscribers on it. But we're gonna be using this channel here for my lead score AI content, and it's going to be hyper focused on the sales aspect of things. And this is going to be launched fairly soon. After the launch next week, there's going to be tons of content here on what lead score is and how it works and why it works, and just tons of back-end content kind of deal. So if you guys want to follow along on that, join my like if you're into sales, this is for salespeople. This is only salespeople.
Start workout.
Yes, I will. Never.
This is a reminder.
Now that's one thing. I don't know if you could hear that. This is my Alexa reminding me that I need to start my workout session. But that's one thing I wish I could delegate to AI. I was like, AI, give me some six pack. Not gonna happen, guys. Not gonna happen. Still got to do some work. And this is definitely one of them. Okay, let's wrap this up by seeing exactly what OpenClaw has done for me so far, and then we're gonna close things off. Okay. So let's just see. So just to recap what it's doing, right? Okay, let me just read what it did, right? So it fixed the Eventbrite image. I did see that you do that. Fix your outbound system, EST. Reset the registry, clean up, updated events, product directories, did not publish directory, and then ticker update. Right. So so the only thing I don't know if it could do, which I told it to do, but I don't know if it's possible, right? It's like, can you get the image from OpenAI? Because really and truly what I wanted to do is, I don't want to do this anymore. Creating these images, first of all, it takes 2 seconds to do, but I don't even want to do that anymore because I know that AI can do it. So I'm going to tell the Claude skill that we created in this video here. I'm going to get the Claude skill to create the topic, and once I decide on the topic, the next thing for it to do is I'm gonna tell it to go create the images. I'm not gonna use Claude Images because I haven't used it enough to trust it, but I can tell you that ChatGPT is extremely good at doing this, and now that it has sort of like my base images and whatever, it just does a really good job of creating thumbnails. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna let it just use that skill consistently to just create thumbnails, and we're going to get OpenClaw to basically take those thumbnails and upload it for YouTube content event. All right, so we're getting there. And then while I'm at it, now that I'm thinking about it, I think next week, we'll see if I could do this, but I think next week, what we're going to do, we're going to do a little more deep dive into video, because this is the area that I'm a little bit behind on, is pushing out video content properly. I'm doing the lives, but I don't chop my video up and turn them into social media posts, etc. So that's something that we're going to be doing. Hey, I'm new here. Da Vinci, how are you doing, man? Welcome. Good to see you. Nice to welcome. So we're kind of wrapping things up, just so you know, but I'll give you sort of a quick highlight of what we talked about. So basically today we were focused on vibe coding, but all the things that you have to do to run your business on the back end. And I use OpenClaw. I showed a whole bunch of examples of using OpenClaw to kind of get a bunch of work done. And then we created a few skills in the Claude Skills to be able to do repeated tasks, to basically manage all the back-end work on your business. So if that's something you're interested in, come to my school community since you're new here. welcome. HTTP, and this goes for anybody else that's new, dwain.me/school. Okay, join my school community, and you could ask questions, or if you have anything about vibe coding or development and whatever. And also, I'm launching my product on the 27th at 2 p.m. I know it's a working day for some of you, but for entrepreneurs, it's for entrepreneur business people. Yeah, you're welcome for sure. Feel free to join my RSVP to my launch event, because even if you don't, at least you can watch your recording, is the point that I'm making here, but it also helps me to get some more people coming to the event. But you could watch that, and it'll give you a good example of how to launch a product. That's basically what I'm doing here. So I'm launching my own personal product. And then if you're really curious about the back end of how I'm doing things, when you join the school community, if you watch the other videos and you want, this is like real behind the scenes of what's going on. So 100% free, by the way. Like, there's no paid any single thing here. We got about 74 members in here. 6 online. Wow, that's a lot of people online today. And so come in here, watch if you're new here to the community, what to do. And this video will give you some guidance and thing, and then you could come across to the community and then announce yourself in the community so other people can know who you are and we could think. Okay, I'm a little bit behind on content for the community, but there's a lot more stuff coming because I've been busy with trying to get my product launch here, and I'm trying to get 100 people to show up to this event. So I need these numbers to move. We're at 43 right now. Okay, moving, get in there. We got less than a week. So yeah, let's see. Oh, here. So Claude give me back some, OpenCloud give me something. So what does it do? It pulled down these images. It created a banner. I updated the Eventbrite. So look at this. Isn't that crazy? Let me see. So it put the logo here. So this, I just asked it to fix this logo here because it didn't do it. So refresh, come on. Refresh again. There we go. Look at that. See? Isn't that crazy? That's a full employee job doing all of that stuff behind the scenes. And I didn't have to lift a single finger while I was on live because OpenCloud just did it. So going forward in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to do a lot of breakdown on OpenCloud now that I'm kind of like really digging my sort of a claw into, well, pardon the pun, into it. I'm going to try to come up with some guidance on how to use it to run your vibe coded business in the background, dealing with all the stuff from support all the way to meeting, planning, events, etc. I can't access the site. Which site are you talking about? LinkedIn or vibe coded community? This one? This link you're talking about? Try this one. See if that works. That's the vibe coded link. So yeah, anyway, the school community. Try that link and see if it works. Should work. If not, you maybe just go to school.com and then try to get in. But thanks for asking, and thanks for thinking. Let me know if it actually works before I close out the live, and then I'll close things off for today. And yeah, so just to be clear, let me just, where's my, I don't have my school banner up, but excuse me guys. Hopefully I'm not getting sick. So where is the banner for my school? I don't know where it is. Somewhere in here. Too many image generation, not enough organizing. Yeah, I don't know where it is. Somewhere in here. Yeah. This is me not being organized here. So, by the way, for people that are messy with their folders and stuff, like just tell Claude, it's like, listen, go look at every single image and just organize it for me. Because you can do that now, right? You don't even have to like try. You just say, can you just deal with this mess for me, right? Like a king, Beyond, you just go. Schools on maintenance. Okay. At least you got the link. Copy the link before I close out the live. check it out. Like I said, school community, fantastic way to learn some stuff, vibe coding, Cloudflare, all 9 yards. My intention is to take you from 100% zero. When I say zero, like literally these courses, 3 5 minutes long, literally tells you how the internet works from a basic standpoint, so you understand how to like database and all that kind of stuff. And then I try to go up from there to programming and some of the more advanced things. And now I'm trying to work on launch event stuff. But there's still more work to be done here, but it'll give you at least a start. All right. So, okay, with that, I got to close off because I got to go pick up my 4-year-old from Friday school daycare. And yeah, when he comes home, my life just kind of goes upside down. So I need a little bit of like me time in order to like switch over to like daddy time. All right, guys, it's been a pleasure as always. If you miss it, go to the school community or go to my YouTube channel and subscribe there. All the links are in my school community. RSVP to my launch event on Wednesday, even if you can't make it, and then watch the recording at some point. And with that, I will see you guys in another one.